Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior, and today we're going to be talking about martial law. Now, martial law is in fact an American fighter of Chinese descent. He is a tribute character to the very famous martial artist Bruce Lee, which is why in every single game, he always has a different costume that is a reference to one of Bruce Lee's films. And a lot of his moveset and arsenal is comprised of Bruce Lee's most famous move, the 1-inch punch, flip kick. The list does go on. So since martial law is based off Bruce Lee, law would naturally adopt the Taekwondo style. But this is where the similarities do end. Now, martial law owns his own restaurant in San Francisco. It is fairly successful, but in his heart, he knows that he doesn't want to do this for the rest of his life. Being extremely talented in Taekwondo, he wants to open up his own dojo, but at the current moment, he lacks the funding to do so. Luckily for him, a tournament held by Heihachi Mishima called the King of the Iron Fist tournament would award the winner a lot of money. So he would enter with the hopes of at least winning enough to start up his dojo. Now, we are unaware of how far he actually got in the tournament, but he obviously didn't win, as it was Kazuya that had. But at the beginning of Tekken 2, martial law has his own dojo, so he must have gotten quite far in the tournament to get some money for himself to make it. Now in Tekken 2, Law had run a very successful martial arts dojo. It was bringing in a lot of students, and he had a rather comfortable living. Now one day, a bunch of his students would be attacked by a Taekwondo teacher by the name of Beck. Now Law would understandably want to make the man answer for his crimes, and would challenge him to a battle at the second King of the Iron Fist tournament. He would defeat the TKD master and would return back home as a hero to his students. Now martial law is absent in Tekken 3, with his son taking his place within the game. However, he does play a prominent role in his son's story. You see, as a child, Forrest would be taught by his father, and when Tekken 3 had rolled around, he was a spitting younger image of him. Now despite this, Marshall didn't want his son to participate in tournaments outside of the dojo. He knew how good he was, but Marshall didn't see the need to see him boast about his talents, despite his son's pleas. What also didn't help at this time is his longtime friend Paul Phoenix pretty much kidnapping his son and dragging him to the King of the Iron Fist tournament free. Martial law was not happy about that. Now when Tekken 4 rolled around, martial law's life was turned upside down. You see, he had recently lost a financial war against a competitor, and this led to him declaring bankruptcy a year later. Now Law couldn't really do anything about this, and slipped into a drunken depression. This lasted for a substantial amount of time until the King of the Iron Fist tournament 4 had arrived. Knowing that he had no other choice, this would light a fire within martial law, and he would train himself up to the peak of his own physical shape and enter the tournament. Now despite his training regimen, Law wasn't able to gain any money from the tournament, so he wasn't able to reform his dojo, and as such decided to stay within Japan, and stayed in Japan to make some money for his family. Now a month after the King of the Iron Fist tournament 4, he was called by his wife that his son Forrest was involved in a motorcycle accident, costing them a lot of money. So martial law would set his eyes on the King of the Iron Fist tournament 5 with the hopes of winning it. However, whilst in the middle of the tournament, he was tracked down and deported back to the United States of America, as he had been illegally working there. Now with the deadline for the bike payment approaching, he would try his best to earn some money, but this wasn't quite enough. At least that was until the King of the Iron Fist tournament 6 had been announced. But even then, martial law knew that his chances were slim, as he had failed time and time again. So he teamed up with Paul Phoenix and Steve Fox to split the pot if any of the three were to win it. But as we all know in Tekken 6, the King of the Iron Fist tournament 6 is something we don't really see properly, as it's overshadowed by the scenario campaign. Now in Tekken 7, martial law has seemed to gain control of his dojo, but is still in the process of paying off his son's debt. And whilst he had disappeared, many of his students had left, or were not interested in learning under him. With large sums to repay, Law would decide to have capable fighters run his dojo, but he really did struggle in finding some good ones, and Paul would offer to in fact teach himself, but Marshall did the right choice and said no, as he knew the man's reputation. The two would then set out to China, where they heard of a very powerful martial artist who was believed to be the next God Fist master, and eventually the two were able to track him down. This God Fist master was in fact Feng Wei, and martial law and Paul Phoenix would battle him and eventually overpower him, but he would rise up after their battle engulfed in overwhelming rage and aura. This understandably terrified the two, and they ran away. And that's really it for martial law, guys. I do have to say, I really do like martial law. I adore his moveset, and I really do enjoy the slapstick humor he does have with Paul. It's genuinely very funny. If you haven't seen this, please do check out a lot of the endings from Tekken 3 onwards. They are absolutely great. I'll be very interested to see this character be taken in a serious direction. I feel like he's really good with where he's at now. Plus they did try this in Tekken 4 and it didn't really stick, so he kind of became a comedic character. So in the comments below, let me know if you'd like to see him be taken in a much more serious this manner. Although I will say that the likelihood of that is very low, as it seems like if you're not a Mishima, you're not going to be part of the main story. Now in the comments below, please do also let me know who would you like to see for the next Tekken episode. I'm debating either between Lily or Michelle Chang. I cannot decide, but if you have a better suggestion, please let me know. Now before we wrap up guys, if possible, let's try getting this video to about 500 likes. It's a great way of supporting this channel, as YouTube's ad system it's broken, so by just giving it a thumbs up it helps out this channel a ton. Now as always guys, please comment, like, subscribe and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care and I'll see you all next time.